Awesome. Hey. Okay, guys, welcome to tonight's Team Zoom. I'm so excited to have all of you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jodi Buschur. I'm your Triple Diamond upline for most of you. We do have a couple guests on, so welcome. I'm really excited about tonight's Zoom, only because I know a lot of people are struggling with feeling stuck on Facebook. They feel like they're not getting anywhere. People aren't interacting with their posts. And so I just feel like when I saw that Sam did a Zoom on this last night, I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to get you back on here. Because between you and Jess, I feel like you guys have so much to offer when it comes to the social media stuff. So you guys, this business truly is a belly-to-belly company. You're going to build your business the most by doing wrap parties, by doing one-on-ones, getting to events, talking to people, getting leads that way, going to the gym and meeting people. That's the way you're going to build your business mostly. But how do you get those appointments? You need to network. This is a networking company. And so we need to be building relationships constantly, whether it's belly to belly out when we're shopping or out to eat, or through social media. And social media is where it's at, you guys. Everybody is using social media. They always say TV's going on its way out. Cable's on its way out because Facebook is the new TV. People are on Facebook more than they're watching TV. And we don't want to be commercials. We want to be real people. We want people to fall in love with us. And you have to do this by adding new people every single day. You should be adding a minimum of 5 to 10 people every single day to grow your business, to grow your networking group of the people that are seeing your posts. So at least 5 to 10 new people a day. If you're sitting there right now and you only have 300 to 500 people, let me mute the line here. Sam, you'll just have to unmute. There we go. Okay, if you guys only have 300 to 500 people on your Facebook right now, if you're not new to It Works, you don't have enough people. You need to have a lot more people added. So you're gonna wanna add 5 to 10 new people every single day, be growing your networking. And let's face it, I mean, that's how we're going to interact with people, to book these parties, to book these one-on-ones, to have people follow us. So there's something that Sam's going to talk about called algorithms, and we're going to talk tonight about how to bust through those babies so we can grow our business and utilize social media as a way of really, really building our business. You know, there's a lot of different tips that I'll share too, but I'm going to let Sam share most of them. So that we can just run with this. So that, I mean, a lot of these are newer tips that you have not heard before, and they're going to be very important to growing your business. So here's the thing, you guys, you have to be adding new people every single day. So like I said, 300 to 400 or 500 people is not going to grow your business like you want it to. So you need to step out of your comfort zone, be adding new people constantly to be able to grow your business, because otherwise, if you're not doing that, you have to be out and about every single day building your business and networking. So if you're not doing that, be doing it on Facebook. So, okay, Sam, if you want to unmute yourself, Sam Davis is going to just fill our buckets, and I have my notepad and my pen, and I'm going to be taking in my wine, and I'm going to be taking notes too. So go ahead, girlfriend. Give us all we need to know.
All right. Can everybody hear me? We good, Jodi?
Good to go.
Awesome. Okay. So guys, I'm going to dive right into this. So now, if you know me, again, sorry I look like a mess. I finally got to shower a couple hours ago. So.
You were in your robe the last time I talked to you at like 3 o'clock.
I showered after I talked to you, Jodi. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into this. So Jodi's spot on. I mean, spot on with how huge it is for this to be belly to belly. But I don't know, it was kind of cutting in and out. I don't know if she mentioned, but most people were aware. Everyone's working. A lot of us aren't able to leave our 5-day a week, 40 hours a week job yet. Or you're part-time, or you're a mom. Like, I get it. I get the full busy thing. So the point is, if you cannot be out on the streets, meeting people belly to belly, wrapping people constantly for 8 hours a day, with It Works, you must be utilizing your social media if you are a social media person. Obviously, you guys all are because you're on the Zoom. So ways to maximize your business growth is kind of like a job in itself. Those of you, and you don't have to be super tech savvy. I am not. The problem is every year or so, sometimes even more often than a year, Facebook especially, but Instagram, things like that, we see the updates all the time. It also jacks up the algorithms. What an algorithm is Facebook is also a company, obviously. They don't want to lose us as clients or as users, or they want us to be happy with what we're using. How many times do you open your newsfeed, all you see is ads or crap or things that you don't feel like looking at, and you just get bored and you're scrolling aimlessly, like looking for interesting stuff. If you don't even know to unfollow people, that's something too. So if you're seeing the same things and you're like, oh, she's negative, I am done with her, like unfollow. You should be unfollowing and refollowing other people all the time. But today we're going to talk about how to utilize your actual audience on Facebook. Everyone's got an audience. So I'm going to jump right into this. Like I said, I didn't have a great big intro, and I have 3 notebooks and notes that I printed out on stuff that I've been researching just these past couple of weeks. As Jodi and I kind of find out more information, we'll pass it along and probably do another Zoom. But what I've come to find out is there isn't like a Google website anywhere that like shows you this year the Facebook algorithms are here. And then on the next page, we're going to show you how to hack A through Z algorithms. Unfortunately, those don't exist. But luckily for us, there are gurus out there and people like us who are trying constantly to figure out what the algorithms are, first of all, and 2, how to kind of not break, like kind of hack them, like break through them. So what Facebook is doing is they are now gearing really, really closely towards what you are looking at Facebook and putting that in front of your face. If you're scrolling through, like we've all seen it now, where we've been like online shopping and all of a sudden stuff pops up on our news feed, like Facebook has its own like form of Big Brother, and it's kind of creepy, but it's called affinity, and I'm going to talk about it here in just a second. But first things first, like Jodi was talking about, you must, and I was like this too, so I will empathize with you. You must break out of your comfort zone and add people every single day. I get it if you have kids, if you're not 100% certain about it, if you are a more private person, I promise you, if you are going to commit yourself to this business and run it on social media, because you cannot be out 8 hours a day, you must be adding more people and expanding your network. I'm not saying go through someone else's friends list and add every creepy dude that you know or that you see, because that's weird. But I'm going to give you some options on how to find a bunch of friends who you'll have more interest with. So be just like meeting them on like a play date or like a mommy and me or at Target or something like that. So there are different ways to network on social media by adding new people and not feeling like a total creep and not feeling a little bit unsafe of who you're adding on Facebook. So first things first, we need to know our audience and find out what they want. The first thing that I've noticed while I'm doing all kinds of research is now, like I said, Facebook's going to put stuff in your face that they think that you want to see. I got sucked into, on accident. I'm sure you guys all know Brittany. Brittany and I went to high school together. She's always been into fitness, things like that. So, and our team is very like evolving into that kind of stuff because she's such a good wellness coach and things like that. So we're very aware of our fitness, our health, our overall, like those kinds of things. However, I was kind of taking her lead on the things she was following, things she was posting, things she was talking about all the time. And I was kind of taking her lead. And all of a sudden I found myself looking for and like being kind of attracted to trying to talk to people that are all about fitness, all about motivation, all about the gym, all about this. I'm not that person. You will not find me in a gym 5 days a week. You will not find me posting recipes and meal prepping. I would love it. But most likely I'm doing something here on my Fitboard or, fly medicine in my pants, cooking dinner. Like, yes, we're healthy and things like that, but her audience is not what is attractive to me. And I have no value to those people. So they're not following me back. I'm not following them back. And we have no mutual affinity. So I encourage you to tonight or tomorrow or whenever, ASAP, find 5 things that seriously interest you or are what you're about. I'll give you my 5 things just to give you some examples. You don't have to use the same ones or whatever. Obviously, I'm all about family. I have a daughter. I'm married. My daughter's gonna be 2 in July. I'm all about her. I love her so much. I want this business to bring us home. That's something I'm very passionate about. My other thing, I have another thing, is breastfeeding. I breastfed my daughter for a majority of the time, but I also exclusively pumped for the second half of the time that she was getting breast milk. That's a smaller group of people, but it's something that I'm super passionate about. I had a lot of problems at work. I'm completely pro breastfeeding. I'm in mommy groups, but people who are not moms would have no real correlation to that. So I need to be bonding with other moms who have passions of breastfeeding or moms that exclusively pump, because that's an even smaller group of us. I'm in a couple planning and organization groups. I really enjoy my planner and being fun and nerdy with that kind of stuff.
Green.
Yeah, super, super, super green. And I'm a dance instructor. I'm super passionate about dance. I love working with young girls. I started our middle school dance team here in my town, and DIY stuff. I love doing stuff at home. I love the DIY projects. And my husband is very handy. He's an electrician, but he loves to build stuff. So those are 5 things about me, or things that interest me or capture me. So now that I know what I'm looking for on Facebook, I can start finding a better audience that more correlates to my 5 things. I don't have boys. So some kids are soccer moms, they're at soccer and baseball and stuff like that. That's not me yet. I might have boys in the future, but you need to identify your page and your profile and your business to yourself, not your upline, not your sideline, not someone who you aspire to be. Find yourself and really grab onto those things, because Facebook is becoming more and more and more personable, and people can identify whether they want to follow you or unfollow you, or they like your profile in less than a second now, guys. So you don't want to be if all your friends from high school are that girl I've never seen her in a gym. Yeah, I danced and I cheered in high school, but I was never in the gym. So for me to be trying to talk to people about the wellness and fitness part of things, it wasn't working for me, because I have nothing to offer people like that. And I get bored looking at that crap anyways. So finding the things, like I said, and sticking to your 5 to 6 things and really honing in on those kinds of things. Get yourself into groups, make more Facebook friends. Then you're not feeling as creepy. You're not do not go through your suggested friends list. It's an absolute joke. There are way too many people that you're mutual friends with. I don't even know how Facebook does that. I think they just do it off where you live and it doesn't make any sense. 9 times out of 10, you're going to add somebody that's friends with 800 other works distributors. So don't even worry about the suggested friends list. I don't even suggest using it. I suggest really using proactive searching, using your search bar, people posting about breastfeeding. Go through, get yourself into some groups, check a girl out, see how she is posting. Maybe you want to become friends with her. Some people are weird about it. They want to see if they have mutual friends. I'm just more about getting into groups, seeing what people are about, because if I meet somebody at Target, I have no idea who their mutual friends are. So that's how I kind of look at it. And it's been very beneficial, just changing up my audience, and really understanding my audience. And it's more attractive. So that being said, now that you've found your 5 things that identify yourself, and you've kind of intertwine that in with your business posts, and you're making your page more personal, and it's not your upline stuff or whatever, it's more personal to you. Facebook becomes instantly more fun. Networking becomes more fun because you're having fun. 9 times out of 10, we are so bored on Facebook and we don't even realize it. So that makes it a lot easier to engage with people. Engaging posts about your audience, what they're scared of, what they want, what they need. It's a lot easier to react to someone's post saying, oh my gosh, I just wish every day I could come home to my babies and not ever have to go to work again. If you do not have kids and you are not a full-time working employee and you're a college student who's single, you have zero idea on how to talk to that woman. But if in my for instance, I could absolutely comment on her and start engaging with her. It's so much easier, guys. I promise you, this is about to bring back your excitement and your fun in Facebook. understanding your Facebook reach and maximizing your engagement of the post. When you go and comment on someone or someone is commenting on your stuff, don't just let everyone comment on your stuff. Go back, say thank you. If you post an engaging post, or asking someone's opinion about something and people are commenting, go back and respond to them. Don't just go through and like them because you're thinking, oh, well, they commented on my stuff, they're going to see my stuff more often. Not true. I mean, it kind of is, but not as much. And I'll talk about that in just a second. I'll talk about why. Actually, I can jump right into that now. Okay, so before I scare you guys with this whole algorithm thing, Facebook is absolutely not out to get us. They're not out to get network marketers. They're not out to shut anybody down. They're not out for any of that. Facebook is simply a business. They're trying to make Facebook more fun for more people. Like I said, if I'm trying to follow a bunch of people who are into fitness and they have a zero interest in anything else that I'm about, and then they're not going to like or engage in any of my other stuff, so they're never going to see my business posts. Never. It's just not going to happen. Learning the technology doesn't beat the algorithms. Thoughtfulness does. Think about that. Your thoughtfulness. Social media is about relationships, and the algorithm, in the algorithm, they call that affinity. Affinity equals the closeness of the relationship. I'll say that again so you can write it down. Affinity equals the closeness of the relationship.
Are you saying affinity or infinity?
Affinity.
Affinity.
Yeah. AFF.
Okay.
Affinity.
Say it again. Affinity what?
Equals the closeness of the relationship. So, if you can get someone to engage with your posts, whether they're liking, commenting, or sharing, the more affinity or probability for them to see your future content. Affinity takes into account things like the below. And I'll try to get this because I actually printed this up. I'll try and get this uploaded or sent to Jodi, and she can maybe upload it into a file. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it, but because I actually am reading right off of my notes that I typed up earlier.
Oh, that's cool.
So affinity takes into account things like how many mutual connections does that person have with you? How many of their mutual friends engage, like, comment, or share the post? The biggest part of affinity is recent interaction. So 2017, the news Facebook updates roll out. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter how many posts you like. That doesn't matter anymore. Last year, it was like, go like as many as you can, like always like react to something, be excited, like show your love, give some love. Now, us giving love has to go a step farther. We must interact with them. So now that you've got your 5 things, you've got your new audience, so now Facebook isn't boring, you are able to go through your newsfeed and instead of just liking, reacting, laughing at whatever on people's pictures or their statuses, you must comment. The more engagement you have with that person, the more affinity Facebook thinks that you guys have. So if you comment, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute, and they like your post or they like your comment, because that's 9 times out of 10 what's going to happen, they're going to like it. They might say, thank you so much. Don't even leave it at that. Like theirs back, comment again, and say, you're so welcome. Just keep, the more recent interaction you have with those people, the more Facebook thinks that you guys are into the same things, because now you're seeing stuff that you like, you're commenting more, and they're now going to show more things to each other that you guys have to offer. You like their dog post, now she's going to see a picture of your daughter and she's going to like it, and all of a sudden your affinity keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. If you have an audience that has nothing to do with anything that you like, that's not going to happen because it's boring. Facebook really wants you to create the relationships, and as much as other companies don't do this, and as much as we have always beat it into everyone's head, this business is all about creating relationships. This is never going to change. Facebook is always going to want you to continue to create relationships. It makes perfect sense if you think about it. If Facebook is only going to show me 1 out of 5 posts, best case scenario, wouldn't it be a good idea to show me something that I've already demonstrated that I like? So if she posted a picture of her dog, 9 times out of 10, if she posts another picture, Facebook thinks that I want to see it. So, and vice versa. If they're commenting on my stuff that they seem to like, they're going to show more of my stuff, whether it's business related or something about my 5 things. We now have common interests, things like that. Also, all of our mutual friends. The more our mutual friends, because we're probably going to have mutual friends or friends who like the same kind of thing, because now we have the same interests that we're talking about, the more interaction our mutual friends have on our stuff, it's going to create affinity between me and that person as well. I know this is kind of like weird, but it makes so much sense if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. And it is kind of like creepy how Facebook like knows all this stuff, but they do, so we got to go with it. Let me see. What we want to do obviously is create posts that people can have a lot of recent interaction with.
Sam, I'm just going to answer a question that Jess just asked while you're saying that, because it kind of fits right in here. Jess, so how do you start a conversation with someone random some random person in a Facebook group like breastfeeding about the business? Can you give a quick example? You never will start a conversation that way. What's going to happen is when you're doing all the interaction with somebody that you've friended from one of these groups, like Sam was saying, what's going to happen is they're going to start seeing more of your posts, because you're going to be commenting on all of their posts and interacting with them that way. So what I do is I let them watch me for a little while, or I'll comment on their post and then private message her and say, oh my gosh, seriously, your dog is adorable. What kind is it? How old is it? How long have you had it? We'll just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because the more interaction you do with that person, the more they're going to see your posts. They're probably going to ask you about your business before you even have to bring it up. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're never going to, I'm not saying you're never going to, but you might eventually say, I see that you're home during the day. Are you a work from home mom? Or, so you're just going to just be genuine, be a friend, and it'll eventually come up in conversation. But they say go back and forth at least 12 to 20 times in conversation before you even remotely bring it up. And like I said, most of the time they'll bring it up first. Hopefully that answers that.
Yes. Yes, patience. Here's the crappy part. For a long time, and especially these past couple of months, because it takes, like I said, it takes these gurus a couple of months and weeks and things like that to kind of start just posting things like crazy and figuring out, okay, what are the new algorithms? What is holding back people from seeing certain stuff? Now that we've identified them, how do we fix them? So it takes a little bit of time, because like I said, there's no Google info page for algorithms and things like that. There's a reason for them. Like Jodi was just saying, for instance, I am in a planner, like those happy planners. I'm in a group about like people who like to plan, and like we get all these stickers, and like we get super excited and take pictures of our pages for the weeks and post them in there. But we love it. And we were talking about pens, these specific kind of pens. Somebody was trying to figure out how to get these pens. And I had seen them here. Well, I started talking to this one girl. I didn't even know she lived in the UK. She added me on Facebook. We were like commenting back and forth about these pens, and we ended up just chit-chatting, because she added me on Facebook. We were chit-chatting, and now she wants to join the business before the end of May. So all of a sudden it just kind of came up, because we were I know, whoop, whoop. All of a sudden we were just like, we're just talking about freaking pens. Pens that write good in planners. That's literally how easy it is. Unfortunately, this is the unfortunate part, for months and months and months, or like even all of last year, unless you know these kinds of things about Facebook, which you wouldn't know or need to know unless you're trying to grow a business or reach a certain amount of people or raise awareness for something, you're not even going to notice anything about algorithms. You have no idea. But before you know them and know how to hack and know how to really communicate with people in a really exciting way, or people you have common interest with, it does seem like a bummer. Like, patience. I need patience, because I need to create these relationships that you may never get with people, the certain people that we're talking to, because we have no common interests with them. That's been like my biggest aha about this. I'm like, oh my gosh, duh. This is why Facebook is driving me nuts, and I'm not getting interaction because I'm bored. It's not them being bored with me. I'm bored. So I'm not interacting with anyone because I'm bored. Like, I don't want to see any of this stuff. And that is the biggest thing. It's seriously, they ever just like scroll and you're like, God, I can't find anything I even want to look at. Which is pretty sad. I could be doing other like dishes or something. But the point of the whole thing is, it's not about us. It's about our audience, and we need to earn the right to show up in their feed. We need to be interesting enough to show up in their feed. And thoughtful enough. We need to be commenting. We need to be sharing love. We need to be reaching out. So those are just some ways to create the affinity between you and your audience. And like I said, instantly when you find those 5 things, guys, and you start really just like projecting towards your audience, it's not like you're excluding other people. You're always going to meet people that you may not have nothing in common. They're going to want to join your business or buy product. However, instead of like getting a tiny percentage of all of the little groups and like the popularity of everything, why not have a giant percentage for being so great and figuring those out? You're welcome. Why not have a giant audience of 5 specific things that actually interest you? So it's just about, it's the numbers, it's relationships, it's a lot easier to connect with people. It's all about that. The power of social media is not about the broadcasting, it's about listening. We always say we need to know your hate, your want, or your need. It's everyone that we want to help. We have to know either one or all 3 of those things. So it's a lot easier to find those out when you connect with people on a different level. So, okay, moving on. So now that, was somebody about to say something? No? Okay. Now that we've gotten our 5 things, we now understand how to connect with them and create that affinity. The word is just kind of fun. That's why I keep saying it. It really, you don't have to keep saying it. I don't know. But that's what it's called within the algorithm. Now we can start proactively searching and like kind of myth bust a couple of things really quick. Let me see.
Sam, did you tell people, I don't remember if you said at the beginning, but the algorithm is what blocks people from seeing your posts.
No, I didn't. But yes, that's what that is.
So I want to make sure you guys understand, if you're hearing us say algorithms, that those are the things that keeps other people from seeing our posts. And so the only way to get past that is this affinity, right?
Yes.
And so doing the commenting versus just, because we used to always say a like is a high five and a comment is a hug. So we'd be going, get out there and be high-fiving and hugging, meaning liking and commenting. But what she's saying now in this year is the liking just isn't enough. You have to be interacting and commenting, just to wrap up what she said. Okay.
Yes, definitely. So
can I say something real quick?
Yes.
So when I've noticed, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, when you like or love or haha on a post and 20 minutes later you go back to that post and it's not there, I'm guaranteeing it's because you're not interacting and commenting. They're like, you can like 20 times and they'll disappear.
yes.
You know what? This happened to me last night. I was in one of my lists and I was going through liking stuff and the like button was not turning blue. And I'm like, what's going on? Why is it not turning blue? But when I clicked on all the likes for that thing, my name was on there, but the blue was not showing up like I was liking it. And I'm like, what's that? So I went out of the list and started doing it, and it only showed up on certain people's.
Yes. So here's why. Here's the biggest creepy part of the affinity that I was about to skip over, and I'm glad you just said that, Amber, because this is the really, 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 really creepy Big Brother part of Facebook now, the 2017 newest, creepiest hack. One of the other biggest chunk of the affinity, what creates it, is actually not even interacting at all. It's how long you hover over that specific post. For instance, if you are scrolling through your newsfeed, and the reason I know that this is legit is because it has happened to me numerous times. You're scrolling too fast and you're like, oh shit, I need to go back up there and see that, whatever that was, and it's gone. All of the posts that you scrolled by too fast, they're gone. You go back up and they're all gone, or the majority of them are gone because you showed no interest in hovering over it, which is why the biggest interaction posts or interactive posts are videos, because now you don't even have to turn the damn sound on. You can just hover over it and they have captions and you can just read it. That's why those get tons of views and always pop up on your newsfeed. Images is the second one, and questions. If you hover over something and you see a question mark, your brain instantly stops and you read it and you're like, whether you comment or like it or not, you have now hovered over that for a certain amount of seconds, which means in some way Facebook thinks that you liked that, which means that person, if Amber posts a question and I like hover over it and read it, I'm going to see a bunch of Amber's stuff in a row, or when I go back up. But if Jodi posts something and I accidentally scroll over it, if I go, oh shoot, I need to see that picture of Brianna, I go back up, it's gone. because I didn't hover over it long enough.
So did you say
and so,
videos, pictures, and questions?
Yeah, the most stopped at, like when people, like that's why we need to be posting videos and images and questions, because people will hover over them regardless of what they are, because they want to see what they are. If it just looks like BS, people are scrolling, and if your post wasn't eye-catching enough to stop somebody from scrolling and they go back, even if they go back up and it's gone, it's your affinity drops with that person.
You know what's so crazy about that? You can make this glorious post and put all this thought into it and not get anything, but you say, who wants to grow your hair out before
you get free,
and you get a million, like, remember, Amber, we were just talking about that today. So it makes a lot of sense when you're asking a question that is so simple and the post is so simple and you can get 55 comments on it versus, something that you put so much thought into and that people are just scrolling right by because it's too wordy or for whatever reason.
Or you have the wrong audience watching you.
It's true.
You've got to be friends with the right people. You have to have the right audience and be engaging. So there's like a step-by-step process. And really all it is getting yourself reinterested in Facebook. That's what they want. They want you to have fun. So it's super creepy. I know it is, but everybody try it. Just scroll through and like find something that catches your eye and like go back up to find it. If it's still there, it'll happen to you. I promise. You just have to notice it. Scroll through really fast and then like go back up to try and find it and it'll be gone. You won't be able to find it anymore. It'll disappear completely off of your news feed. Facebook thinks you did not want to see that. And it's really, 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 really creepy. But that was I was like, oh my gosh. I knew that had happened to me. I'm not going crazy.
You know what else is creepy? When you're on Amazon and Kohl's and wherever searching for stuff, and all of a sudden you're going down and all the stuff you were looking at over the last week starts popping up in your Facebook. Hey, look what's on sale. Seriously? How does Facebook know I was on Kohl's website or on my Amazon? Like, that's creepy.
I don't like it. The first time I noticed that was when I was looking for crib mattresses for Lucy, and I was actually on my phone, and I was like, that is so creepy. The next day, I was on my work computer looking at car seats. Those car seats that I was looking at, the Graco car seats, were then on my news feed on Facebook. They're not synced.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It was so creepy. I was like, nope, I'm out. I'm done. So the next thing I want to talk about real fast regarding the affinity, all of this is kind of going to tie together. Last night I was kind of all over the place when I did it, so I tried to put it in an order today, which is going to make it a little bit easier probably for you guys to follow. So the next thing is training your mind to do this on Facebook. We're so involved in scrolling aimlessly. We have nothing we're even searching for. We're thinking, I need to spend 2 hours on my business. Let me get on Facebook. You probably put 5 minutes of effort into your actual business because you posted one thing. You went through and liked a bunch of comments, which no longer matters. You said happy birthday. I'll just squash that now. The happy birthday thing is a myth. Squash it. It doesn't work because your affinity with that person didn't grow because you said happy birthday, because all 3,000 of those person's friends also said happy birthday. Whether you private message them or write on their wall, it doesn't work. So you can still be nice and say happy birthday, but it's not going to boost your affinity with that person anymore. I think it used to work, but it doesn't anymore. That was something that I was like, oh, dang, I didn't think about that. And that was like one of the first things that popped up on a bunch of stuff when I was doing the research on one of the videos I watched. They were like, the birthday myth no longer works. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone does that. I need to tell people. But
now, the one thing it does do is it still helps create a relationship with them if you're private messaging them, but it's not going to help as far as them seeing more of your posts.
Exactly.
You're showing them that you're genuinely wishing them a happy birthday, that you care about them. That is important because you're creating that relationship, but it's not going to boost them seeing your posts.
Right. Don't count that as one of your 6 list income producing Facebook activities, because it's not. It is starting a relationship, but it's not helping your business in any way. It's just helping you create the relationship, opening maybe a door. So like I was saying, one of my biggest things is kind of like figuring out how to hack algorithms is just as hard as figuring out how to hack your brain. Our brains are so programmed into just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, make a post, scroll some more, make a post, scroll some more. So I'm challenging you guys, because I started doing this for at least the rest of the month, to get your algorithms kind of like under control, and get your stuff flowing, challenge yourselves to, as soon as you open your Facebook app, do not allow yourself to check your notifications before you have engaged by commenting on at least 5 posts. It's going to put that in your mind right away. My first thing is not to see who loves me. I need to show my love. Don't check your notifications until you show somebody else some love by commenting. It's just something that I've been toying around with, and it's been working because it makes me like really think, and I'm like, okay, I really want to know what somebody said on my post, but I can't look at it until I like talk to 5 more people, yada yada yada. So it definitely, yeah, I loved it. It's been working, and it does help train your brain. It gets your brain in that mindset of like, I need to see what other people are doing, and then I can look at my love. So it's kind of exciting too. So I liked that. Liking, commenting, and sharing on other people's posts don't get your posts more to show up more on your feed. It gets their posts to show up on your feed. So if I'm giving Jodi a bunch of love, her stuff is going to show up on my feed. The key is to get them to like and comment back on your stuff. So if I go to Jodi's post and I like her post and then comment, oh my gosh, the girls look amazing, and she likes it and then comments back, that's what's important. Yes. If they're ignoring me, if you have nothing in common with that person, they're like, okay, she's a creep, I don't know her, whatever, I'm not even gonna like it. Yeah, that's a losing battle.
Yeah, I want to comment on that because my big thing is with us having, such a big family and 6 girls, I can post a picture and I will have 600 to 700 likes on that picture and 20, 30, 40 comments. These are people that I have not seen any of their stuff for so long. This is why I know that this all works. Haven't seen their stuff for so long. I go through and start liking and commenting when we go back and forth, and all of a sudden I'm seeing their stuff left and right. That's why I know it works, because I haven't seen their stuff in forever. I'm like, I didn't even remember that we were still friends. And then all of a sudden I'm starting to see their stuff again because we were interacting on one picture that I posted. So that's crazy how it works.
So is that because she, maybe that person, because I'm seeing the same thing, people I didn't even know I was friends with are now commenting on my stuff. Is that because they're now hovering over something that I've posted? Probably. And now they're seeing more of me, so they're commenting maybe?
Probably.
Which is cool because that means they're checking out your posts.
Right.
Which means and probably have a really good audience already, which I think that you do anyways. Yeah. I was so ass backwards on mine. So if you already have that interaction with a lot of people, your audience you keep it up because that's good. That means they're hovering over your stuff. You're making the right engagement posts. And then that's where you take that level and maximize it by just continuing the relationship and continuing comment back and forth. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
That's probably,
sweet.
Yeah, so that's good. It's human nature to show more love, and the more love you give, the more you'll get it back. So that's just it's the same thing in the Facebook world, as crazy as it seems. And some people are so like, what? That's nuts. But we're in network marketing. We need to show love to receive love. This is our livelihood. This is our life. This is our business. I use Target a lot because their ads are always cute. They've got cute kids, but they've got cute kid lines, and they support all this other stuff. And like, that's what they do. They maximize their actual audience. So, and it's no different with bigger chains or other, people selling lipstick probably don't have a bunch of guys following them. Probably just does. I mean, some, I'm sure, but probably not a bunch. It's just human nature. Our company is take it a step further. We care about people. We are reaching out and trying to actually change lives, no matter what walk of life you're in, no matter what people assume about you. If you've got it all put together or you're torn up, whatever. We're trying to just help everyone. So now we get to take it a step further, and we get to actually enjoy what we're doing. We're not just like blindly marketing to a bunch of people. We get to enjoy it. I love talking about, being pro breastfeeding, things like that. I love talking about that kind of stuff. So having a whole audience who also enjoys it, and I'm not going to get a bunch of like haters and naysayers and dirty words on my comments. Like, that's just not my thing. So I love that this actually makes sense and it's working because it's making Facebook more enjoyable for me again. So leaving the comment is key here in this over this topic. Leaving the actual comment is key. When they like your post, or when you like a post, they cannot like that you liked it. You need to comment so they can like it. Like, people appreciate the likes all the time, but I can't like that you liked my post, and I want to, but I can't. But if you leave a thoughtful comment, then they can like your comment and comment back. Boom, you just created recent interaction. Like I had already said, but that was like one of the biggest points that I had on here. Then that just invites them to follow you. It invites them into your life, and starts, the emphasis on slowing down, leaving a comment instead of just liking you will create the quality relationships that our business thrives on, guys. It's crazy. And I'm not kidding. And I won't promise that this will happen for everyone. When I implemented this, within an hour, I noticed more stuff happening, because I went through and everyone on my newsfeed, I was like, I'm just gonna see if it works. I commented on every person on my newsfeed. It probably took 15 minutes, but it was easy. It was like people's cute dogs. It was like, oh my gosh, your dog's so cute. People at Starbucks, oh my gosh, what are you drinking? And then I just went back, and then I was all of a sudden, I was like, boom, 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 commenting back on these people. I posted an interacting post. I got like 40 comments in 10 minutes. It was crazy. And I hadn't had that kind of luck, I guess you'll call it. I thought it was luck until I found this stuff out. I hadn't had that interaction in weeks. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's got to be something to this. And I've been slowly just chugging along for the past 3 weeks or so that I've been kind of really digging into this kind of stuff.
The other thing that, Sam, too, don't you think when you make the comment, end it with a question? We always say end it with a question.
Yeah.
You have to reply back then. And then you can be like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So like somebody said, being a grandma is the best. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, it is. How many grandkids do you have? And so like we can go back and forth just from answering with a question.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you said that, because I would have blown right past that. Yes. Always come out with a question. That's what, when I was saying like people are posting Starbucks, unless it's that crazy unicorn drink, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you drinking? Like, I need a Starbucks right now or whatever. Like, it's just so easy. It's so easy once you're in the rhythm with people that you're actually engaging with. That just goes back to like, you don't want just anyone engaging with your posts. You want the right people engaging with your posts. Now that we've got that out of the way, once you find your audience and are truly like committed to your audience, and like, because it's easy, it's about you, it's whatever, not just the rando people that pop up on your newsfeed that you never hear from them again or whatever, or on your comments, that won't happen as much anymore. Some will, and it may be helpful, but you want the right people commenting and interacting with you. And you want Facebook to push your posts out into the home feed. But if you don't want you don't want to use yourself to engage with the posts. Like, you want your affinity to be high enough for it to push your posts out into like the home feed of everyone. So that's on everyone's top story. So I'm going to segue into the lists part and let Jodi kind of talk about it. She does really well with lists, but using custom lists allows you to essentially create a home feed based upon just like the people that you have in that list. You're inviting those people even more specifically. So what lists are doing is just taking a couple people that this post may have nothing to do with out of the equation, so there's less people in the way of your affinity with these new people within the list. So Jodi actually does utilize lists constantly. I only have a couple. I'm working on it. I am working on it now, especially now that I get it and it's like easier. A lot of times too, you have no idea where to start with lists because your audience is all over the place. I don't even know where to start. But now that I've got this down, all right, I got my pro breastfeeders in there. I got my exclusive pumpers. I got my planners. I got this. It's a lot easier. So go ahead and Jodi, and give us your best like tips about that.
Yeah, you guys. So I learned about lists a couple years ago, and it has been one of the best things for my business. So what I've done is you can even Google how to create a list on Facebook, and it's going to walk you right through it. That's the easiest way without me explaining it to you. But what you do, I had 3,500 followers or 3,500 friends when I did it. So yes, it took me a couple days to do it. I'm glad I did it back then. But what you do is you create a list. Okay. So my list consists of prospects, existing loyal customers, strong potential distributors. And then what I do is I have people added in January, people added in February, people added in March, people added in April. So you can actually add these people to multiple lists. So what I did is when I added people in January, I put them in my January list, people added in January. But I also added them to my prospect list because they are prospects clearly. If I knew that if I think they're going to be amazing, I can add them to my distributor list, potential distributor list. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to interact with a small number of people. So if I go to the people that I interact with, I entered in January, I want them seeing a lot of my stuff because they're brand new to me. And each month you can do this. And so what I'm doing is you can actually click on feeds and then pick which list you want to interact with. So I want to interact with the feeds. I want to see the feeds of my people added in March. So I'm going to click on feeds. I'm going to go to the list that says people added in March. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to comment and ask questions and like and comment and private message and go back and forth with those people and be creating that relationship constantly. Then I'm going to, so they're going to be able to see a lot more of my stuff, but I want them going back and forth with me. So that's going to kind of what Sam was talking about. The other neat thing about lists is, okay, so we are running a BOGO special for distributors. Anybody who signs up, we aren't, but I'm just saying. If anybody who signs up today, they're going to get another second box of free wraps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my strong potential distributor list, and I'm going to be making posts about what's going on. But before I make my post, I'm going to be making sure that I've been interacting with all of those people, private messaging them. Hey girl, how's your week going? Oh my gosh, I just saw the picture of your kids. They are so stinking adorable. How old are they now? Like, I'm just going to be constantly interacting with them before I start making these posts because I want to make sure that they're going to see them. But when you post to a list, those are the only people who see that post. So another beautiful thing about the list is, say you have 5 of these people in your, say you have 20 people in your strong potential list, but there's 5 of them that you just really want on your team. You literally can go to that list, write those 5 people's name down. You can make a post that only those 5 people, it's going to say custom list, and only those 5 people that you choose will see that post. So what it's going to do is they're going to see it and it's going to show up in their notification. So just to let you know that there are different ways, and using these lists are awesome because, my gosh, you guys, if I'm going to make a post about BOGO, I want my prospects to see it, but I also want my existing loyal customers to see it. So I'm going to make 2 different posts, different pictures, different wording, and I'm going to post one of them to my prospects and one of to my existing loyals. The neat thing is too, you can always be like, hey guys, I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary. I just want to thank you guys for being part of my journey, and post it to your existing loyal customers because we have to care about them too. So that's just another way of just interacting with that specific list. Gosh, what else can I say about the list? You think of anything I missed, Sam? It's just a way to target that certain group of people to make sure that they're seeing your posts. But the interacting with each separate list is so stinking important because that's how everything that Sam talked about with the commenting and then following up with a question and going back and forth. Yes, it seems time consuming, but you are building a rapport with them. You are becoming the person that they will trust. They will buy from you because of you, not because of the products. I can guarantee you that, because they can't touch and feel and smell those products on the computer, but they will fall in love with you, and they're going to want to buy whatever you could sell. What do they say? Ice to an Eskimo? I mean, really, because they can't touch or feel or smell anything, but they love you. While we're talking about that, so in those lists, when you're making a post to those lists, I always say, and some of you are new, so I want you to hear this, I always post about the F word. You're always going to post about something that starts with an F. So faith, family, fun, food, fashion, fitness, anything that starts with an F. Faith. I like to make faith is very important to me. So I like to make a lot of encouraging faith-based posts, containing scripture, things like that. And it's amazing when you make a faith-based post, how many people say, you don't even know how much I needed that today. I've been having a really bad day. This post just made my day. I mean, it's amazing, but don't do that if you're not into your faith. Make a post about who you are. But what that does too is I can post that just to this specific list of people who I know need to hear it, or, I want them to interact. So when I make a fitness post, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, just ran 5 miles, rode my bike 12. what was your workout like today? Or I'm looking for a new chicken casserole recipe. Can you guys share yours below? Or this is my favorite snack of the night. What's your favorite snack? You have to end it in a question so you get lots of interaction. They're called interactive F-word posts. So make those interactive posts. Amber does it all the time, and I love it. She's going to get her nails done. She'll post 4 pictures of some nail designs that she's thinking of, and she'll ask, hey, it's that time again. I need help choosing my nail polish, which design should I go with? And she gets so much interaction every
100 comments on the last one.
100 comments, and she does it every 2 weeks or whatever. But people literally will go on there and they're all like, I like 1 and 3. I like 3 and 4, and she can go through and like and comment. And what I do is when they're doing that, I'll like it, I'll comment, and then I'll private message them and say, girl, I can't thank you enough for loving on my posts. You don't even know as an entrepreneur how much that means to me that you just love on everything that I post, and I just appreciate your support. Didn't say a word about, do you want to join my business? Do you want to buy products from me? I'm genuinely being very grateful for them, and I'm letting them know. This, you guys, creates so much conversation. No lie. Most of the time I'll say, how was your day? Or tell me what the best part of your day was, and you get a spiel. And that creates a whole nother way to just converse back and forth and back and forth. And what you guys don't realize is this is creating this lifelong relationship. And pretty soon they're going to be, you'll just be like, hey girl, thanks for the love on my growing your hair out. Are you ready? Are you in? Thanks for the love on my product tester post. Are you in? Which one do you want to try? So it's just a way to create that relationship, have people fall in love with you, and then have them buy from you because they trust you.
So I think with the list, you remember, Sam, how you said we get on Facebook and we just aimlessly scroll?
Yeah.
Every time I get on there, I'm like, I'm gonna grow my business. I'm 2 hours later, I'm like, I didn't even send a message yet.
Like scrolling.
Seriously. So I think utilizing those lists is a focus towards growing that affinity. That's amazing.
Yep. No, it is. It is. The lists are so stinking important because when you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, how are you going to interact with all of them?
It's impossible.
Right.
Especially because we're down to 3% of our actual friends list seeing our stuff, and it's dwindling still.
Did you guys hear that? 3% of your friends list see your post. 3%.
Yeah.
So if you're not interacting with the right people, if you're interacting with It Works distributors all day long, guess who's seeing your post? All the people who already know about your specials.
Yep. I mean, seriously. And she couldn't be more right about the list, guys. And what I will say about that, just the last thing to tie that in with the lists, is it may seem time consuming, and trust me, for a lot of us it will be, but this is something that's not going to change. Facebook is probably not ever going to get rid of being able to create lists and posting to specific lists. This is going to set up and getting in this habit. Facebook's is also never going to change them wanting you to create relationships, because Facebook will be boring again. They don't ever want that. They want you interacting with whomever you're on Facebook with to keep that engagement. So doing these things and hacking these algorithms is going to be huge for this year and for right now and for our business booming and going for these bonuses and things like that. But it's also bringing the joy and excitement back to Facebook, to yourself. But it's also going to set you up for easier transitions into next year's algorithms that are maybe stopping us up. We may only have to adjust a couple of things, or reach out in a couple of different ways. So that is huge. Definitely taking some time to create the list. If you're dead serious about your business, guys, that's something you definitely want to do. I didn't have any more to add about the lists. So Jodi, was that it that you had about the lists?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This next portion is called proactive searching, and it's become one of my favorite things that I've been doing. Easily, hands down, because it instantly, it's almost like how you minimize what you're looking through, like looking through a list, but it's about what people are actually talking about. So proactively searching, find that search bar on the top of your Facebook feed and use it. Facebook has the largest friendship-based search engine out there. You hear that? The largest relationship-based search engine in general, which means you can basically type in anything that you want and find a massive amount of people who are talking about the same thing and become friends with them. Whereas on Google, you can't find people, you know, that want to talk about your left foot being bigger than the right foot. I mean, there's stuff out there for everybody, guys. I mean, seriously. So what I did just to try this out when I read this specific example, I tried it out right then. Went into my search bar and I typed in friends posting about prayer. Friends posting about prayer. All of a sudden, every single person that I'm friends with that had posted in the last like couple of days, especially that day in the past 24 hours, about asking for prayer, instantly was right in front of my face, and it was all highlighted blue. All of a sudden, I had 30 people that I was able to comment on their posts and say, praying for you, hope everything's okay. Friends that I didn't even know were sick or hurt or in trouble, their parents were sick. All of a sudden, it's in front of my face, and I was able to connect with them right then.
That's insane.
It was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I took it a step further, and the next example it gave me to do, it said friends posting about hospitals. Did the same thing. A whole nother slew of people popped up. Some of it was funny stuff. Some of it was videos. Some of it was serious. My mom's in the hospital. I need prayer, or whatever. God is so good. Friends posting about faith. Friends posting about the circus. Like, you could literally do it about anything, guys. Absolutely anything. And all of a sudden, everyone who's posted about that, you instantly can go comment right there, just down the line. How is everybody doing? Was the circus fun? Did you see elephants at the zoo today? Whatever you search, and all your friends there have talked about it in the past little bit, it's all right there. Proactive.
You can understand like what this will do for our business.
It was crazy. This is my favorite thing.
I'm so stinking excited.
I know. 5 things you could pick a day right then and knock out 500 relationships all of a sudden.
Yes.
It's it was so crazy. I couldn't
even believe. I can see your head going like,
so crazy. Another thing, like I'm just going to give you a couple examples about from your thoughtful side. Obviously, prayer and hospitals and things like that. Not everyone's going to be going through something like that all the time, but something that you could post or search every single day: anniversaries. Friends posting about anniversaries, or just type in anniversaries. Anyone who has an anniversary like hooked to their timeline, like the day they got married, their birthday, their whatever, don't use birthday, but their engagement post, if they're doing like a flashback Friday, I got engaged 4 years ago today, whatever, like their anniversary is going to be on there. Oh my gosh, congratulations, I can't believe it's been 10 years, whatever. That is something that you could search every single day, because every day someone's going to have an anniversary, just like a birthday. So I would keep doing the birthday thing, but instead of using the birthday thing as thinking that you're creating more relationships, use the anniversary thing, and you can actually comment on people's stuff. Because I don't always, unless that's somebody that I know personally and see, but I love when I post my engagement anniversary or my wedding anniversary, and like 30 people that I haven't talked to in a million years comment on it. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And people love
Do you think the anniversary is part of the algorithm yet?
I don't think so. Only because it's not as high of a volume of people saying happy birthday is. Like, literally everyone on your friends list says happy birthday. The anniversary thing, or the friendiversary, like that Facebook gives you of people, use those. If you haven't seen that person or talked to that person and you don't see their stuff ever and their potential or whatever, use those and be like, oh my gosh, we've been friends for 5 years or whatever. Use those because it's fun. So for right now, I'm guessing that's not, because that specific one is on one of my notes that I found, and I love it, guys. The proactive searching has changed things. Like, the interactive posts and the proactive searching is amazing, because you can also just search like I said, my left foot is bigger than my right, and people in that kind of group are going to pop up, and they may only be 20 people, but you can friend all of them and be like, we're so weird or whatever. You know what I mean? All of a sudden
my left is bigger than my right.
Really? That's funny. So that was that's, like I said, that's been one of my favorite things. I can proactively search friends that are talking about certain topics. Like I said, like the anniversaries, the praying for, the hospitals. But oh, and then using the Facebook feature, the On This Day feature. That way you can share memories specifically with that certain person, and have a more thoughtful interaction with. It'll also show you that friend anniversary, like from Facebook. So it'll show you on the On This Day thing. So utilizing that, I don't utilize it as much, because I always miss it when it's on my top thing, and then I got to go find it, and I can never remember where I'm finding it. So
What you have to do is go in your menu and click on this day.
oh, I didn't.
You don't have to go to the notification.
Oh, really?
No.
But it could be a really cute post that you made 4 years ago that would be relevant to things now, and comment on it, and it'll pop in everybody else's newsfeed that day.
Yes, and all of a sudden you've got re-engagements. I just did that on like an old picture that someone posted, and it was from like 10 years ago, or I guess it was 8 years ago, and I was like, oh.
Damn, I do that every single day. That's one of the first things I do is I go to On This Day, and I like and comment and everything, and it pops up. Like today, it was 2 years ago today that Kayla and Lance told us we were going to be grandparents. So I made that, reposted it and said, can you believe it's been 2 years and we're on grandbaby number 2, due in 2 months. And people like even messaged me about it. I can't believe you're on grandbaby number 2, So it's like, they haven't seen my post for that long that they didn't realize we had another baby coming. But because they liked it 2 years ago when I made the original post, they saw it today.
Yes.
So that's why you have to utilize On This Day. I do it every day.
Yeah.
And you can unlike it and then re-love it, and then everybody sees it again.
Yes. I do that. I have been doing that. Especially when someone's old, like you're saying, like people will start commenting on it, and I'll get the notifications. I'll unlike it and then love it, and it's like, because the like button is new. Yeah. And then I'll comment. So I'm like, yay. So now that I realize that that's what is working, I've been definitely doing it more often and making sure that I'm doing that. So it's been nice. So yes, like I said, the proactive searching has been like my new best friend. I highly suggest it. It's kind of fun. It's exciting. You'll also find people like, oh my gosh, I thought these people like didn't even use Facebook anymore, and all of a sudden here they are. They were active a half an hour ago. Like, it's crazy. People that you like went to high school with this person, I never see their posts. Well, you don't see most of people's posts that you're friends with. So, and you just assume they fell off the face of the earth, and they didn't.
Amber, can you imagine if you would search friends posting about nails? Like, you might get all new nail ideas, and then
nice. I need new nail ideas.
Yes.
They can work for all different kinds of reasons.
Oh, wow. I just like the fact that I get, like, when you said friends posting about prayer, I pray every day for my friends. Like, I really pray for them. So that's a way for me to actually find people to pray for.
Yeah.
Great. I love that.
Let them know you're praying for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely. I love it. It made me feel even more like, obviously God put it on my heart why I'm searching for this specific thing today. So all of a sudden something pops up, and you're like, usually like, I'm always like, oh my God, who knew? Like,
right.
Or whatever, especially if it's something more personal like that. Now, if it's t-shirts or whatever, like obviously it's less personal, but those kinds of things, it does. And it makes you stand out, because people assume that we care, but just going that extra mile and commenting, it also really does boost our friendships and our thoughtfulness with other people. So it's good for your soul, and it's good for our business on Facebook. So it's just nice.
Yeah. Sam, I'm not sure how many more notes you have. I know we want to wrap up. We don't want to keep too much longer, but can we run through, you guys, it's so important that you have your It Works distributor title hidden on Facebook.
Yes.
You don't want to be in an It Works shirt on your profile picture or on your cover photo. And the reason this is so important is because when you're sending all these friend requests out, they'll be like, oh no, I'm not accepting her. She's another It Works distributor. They're already judging you before they even know you. You want them to fall in love with who you are as a person before they even know that you're an It Works distributor. That's another reason why the lists come in handy, because if you're making all your It Works posts to your strong potential distributors and your prospects, they're not going to see those posts when they check out your profile. Understand why that's so important? So
that confused me. Hold on.
Okay, so when you send a friend request and they look at your profile, if you have an It Works shirt, if you have an, okay, so what's going to happen is they're probably going to scroll through your profile to see if you have any It Works posts. Not if you have It Works posts, but they're going to scroll through your profile. If they see all these It Works posts, they're going to know you're an It Works distributor. So if you're only posting your It Works post, not publicly, but to your prospect list, your strong potential distributor list, they're not going to see any It Works on your newsfeed.
Okay.
Saying because you're not making your posts to the public. You're making them to your prospects. You're making them to your strong potential distributors. You're making them to the people that you added at certain times. Well, not added at certain times, because once I've interacted with them enough in my added in March group, I'll eventually move them over to my prospect group and take them out of that added to March. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Once you've built that relationship, you move them into
my prospect
specific group.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that's
you don't want them seeing all these It Works posts the minute that they check out your profile, because they're probably not going to accept your friend request.
Right. And that makes sense, because to me, I feel everybody in my network is a potential or a prospect, but they get slammed with all these It Work. When I post about my It Work stuff, they get slammed with it and they get tired of seeing it. And that's when people block you or hide you or that kind of thing.
There are people out there who all they do is spam others with their It Works business, and that's not fair. That's not who we are. We are a Christian-based company. We are about changing people's lives. We genuinely care about people, but there are some people that are in this business just to make money. They don't care about creating the relationship. They don't care about, actually helping them with their health goals. And so we don't want that bad name. We want them to see, oh my gosh, she's got 6 daughters, oh, they look like a happy family. Oh, she's got some Christian posts on here. Awesome. I'm going to accept her friend request, and it takes me a while of creating that relationship before I'll move them into the prospect list.
Okay.
Before they'll even start seeing what I do.
Most of your posts that you do about the business then is geared towards those stronger list. Is that what you're saying? You don't post that directly to everybody. You just do it to those specific lists.
Right.
Okay.
And that if you guys, you guys can always go through and clean up your profile news feed. You can go through and clean up if somebody clicks on your profile, you can literally go through and clean that up and start deleting some posts. If you feel like, oh shoot, I don't want people to see that or whatever. I do that with Instagram all the time. Same thing with Instagram. You don't want them to look at you on Instagram and holy cow, they got 10 It Works posts. I'm not going to follow them. I'm constantly deleting my pictures on Instagram and making it just about faith, family, friends, fitness, fun.
That should be another Zoom. I don't even know how to use Instagram.
We'll do Instagram a whole different night. Sam, how much do you have? Much more? Or?
This much.
Okay.
And it's a quick topic. Timing. Just now that you know your audience and you know who you're posting to, you need to post according to their time, not your convenience. So this is where your scheduling apps, or if you're at home or if you're up at all hours of the night, really thinking about when you're posting is super important, especially to your specific lists or whatever. If you have a bunch of RN friends who work 12-hour shifts and bartending friends and whomever else that are up until 2 a.m., post something at 2 a.m. so they see it, because they're going to check Facebook. If your mommy friends are up breastfeeding at between 5 and 6, you better have a post on their for them to be able to see that early, whether it's inspirational or attracting, something positive about mommies or whatever. Make sure you're posting according to your audience. Know your audience. Most of the time, my dance coaches, things like that, if they're coaching or if they're teaching or if they're instructing, they are normally doing that in the evening hours. So I'm making sure that I'm posting right around the time that school would let out, which is anytime between 2 and 4, in that window. So teachers are seeing it when they're checking Facebook, or coaches are seeing it before they're heading into practice, or late, because my instructor friends are usually in the studio until 9 o'clock at night having classes. So things like that, really getting to know your audiences. People who are working full-time jobs, use your buffer app, because if you are working in some kind of, say you work in an office and you have a lot of office friends who you know it from your market or whatever that are also working those jobs, make sure that you're posting around the time that you get off work or on your lunch breaks and things like that. However, here's the double-edged sword to that. If your time frame for your specific audience is during normal Facebook high traffic hours, which are like usually in the morning before everyone's going to work and when the normal people wake up, or right after work and people are like either out of school after work or, you know, about to go home or whatever they're doing between like the 5 and 7 hour, if that's your peak time for all of your things, which is highly doubtful, but it could be, try and slide in a post an hour or two before the peak time or an hour or two after. So it's either the first thing people are seeing or the last thing people are seeing. If you've got a high volume and high affinity with people, they're going to see your posts no matter what, or they should, but you don't want it to get lost in the shuffle and then scroll too quickly and then they're not hovering. So make sure your stuff is seen. So timing is everything. And it's more specific to people who may be up at 6 a.m. or things like that. If you've worked in a bar and you have a lot of clientele from the bar or things like that, and you know they're all leaving, hopefully not too drunk, or like if they all work, if you are a bartender and you work in a huge restaurant, or you used to, or you worked in like several, and you know people get off at 2 a.m., set a buffer to post something at 2 a.m. so they're seeing it, or at 2:30. That was basically the thing I have. If your audience is active at the rest of the time the rest of the world is, try and do around it and stay consistent. So use those lists, really get to know your audience, and just stay on top of things. Guys, like I said, all of these tips hopefully help you just really get to enjoy Facebook and enjoy networking. For those who didn't quite catch on at the beginning when Jodi was saying, you are in a network marketing company. If you absolutely refuse to get out of your box and grow your network of friends, and this is when I say, we're not just calling strangers friends. This is where we bridge that gap between like, well, we're just like being nice, like teachers, and like saying, like calling people friends who aren't really our friends and whatever. No. You're supposed to be making friends, creating relationships. You're not just adding a bunch of randos on Facebook. That is spammy. That's annoying. You no longer have fun with it. And that's why you guys don't want to do it. I don't want to add a bunch of people that I don't know because they could be creeps. It could be a fake profile. But if you met them in a group, or if you met them because you guys share mutual interests, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot easier. And you are networking as you're making new friends. You have to network in this business unless you're out on the streets networking, which is actually a little bit creepier. So use this, guys. Use these things to your advantage and make it fun again. So hopefully I didn't bore you with all this stuff. It was a lot to take in, I know, but it's working. So hopefully you got a lot out of this tonight.
Yeah, my mind is blown because I thought I knew it all when it came to tracking the algorithms. I'm like preaching on it left and right, but oh my gosh, thank you so much for studying and for, researching and then helping us to be able to do this, because I know that this is going to help all of our businesses just explode.
Amazing. Thank you, Sam.
So
it's my pleasure. As I learn more, I'll let Jodi know, and we can do another Zoom, hopefully, to kick off May, because people should be figuring out even more ways. So hopefully we can do another one. But it was seriously my pleasure, and it seriously has helped, guys, sticking to it and really just making it fun again.
I love it. And like we said, this is a belly to belly business, and this is about creating those relationships. And we always talk about, don't just sell stuff. We don't sell anything. We share. We help people meet their health goals. We are the solution to so many problems, whether it's physical or financial. We are the solutions to people.
You're welcome.
And just be that person. Be the friend. Be a friend. Go on an adventure of changing lives and be a friend, and the money will come. It will flood in. Oh my gosh. I wanted to read this before tonight, but I'm just going to read it now because I talked about flooding in. So you guys know I love my Joel Osteen, I declare. And I'm going to read yesterday's because I thought it was fitting for tonight, because we were talking about, hacking. I declare breakthroughs are coming in my life. Sudden bursts of God's goodness, not a trickle, not a stream, but a flood of God's power, a flood of healing, a flood of wisdom, a flood of favor. I'm a breakthrough person, and I choose to live breakthrough minded. I am expecting God to overwhelm me with his goodness and amaze me with his favor. This is my declaration. And I just think we're breaking through the algorithms. We might as well break through everything else, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was just fitting. So
That was perfect.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I love you all. Have an amazing night. Thank you again, Sam. And
You're welcome.
everybody go out and just grow your business through social media and love on your friends. Good night.
Good night.
Guys.
Love you guys.